Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show. We're going to break down Todd McShay's latest mock draft and who he has the Chiefs selecting later on, so stay tuned for that. But first, want to explore a DK Metcalf trade because after yesterday, I think anything's up on the table for Seattle. Report dropped last night, earlier today. You know, it's a loose report. It's that time of year. The rumors are circulating that Seattle could be open to trading Metcalf for the right price. And once you deal out Russell Wilson and cut Bobby Wagner, what does that signal? Probably a rebuild unless Deshaun Watson gets cleared and they trade for him or something like that. But in all reality, kind of sounds like the Seahawks are going to hit that reset button. And if they do, they could trade Metcalf. They may not. He's certainly still a young guy, but he is on the final year of his rookie deal. And maybe they're thinking, I don't know if we want to re-sign him. Let's see what his trade value is and go from there. Let me just say this. DK Metcalf in Kansas City would be a cheat code. That would be incredible. I mean, if he's your third option after Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, good luck to opposing defenses. That's all I'll say on that front, because you look at what this guy has done with a good deep ball thrower in Russell Wilson, and sure, maybe Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw as pure of a deep ball as Wilson, but could you imagine Metcalf getting man-to-man looks with Tyreek Hill and or Kelce getting double team? Yeah, like I said, good luck. I mean, this guy has 29 touchdowns in 3 seasons. Best year was in 2020, but remember last year Russell Wilson missed a good chunk of time with an injury, and Geno Smith, well, we all know that he ain't it. You look at this depth chart right now. I do think getting a receiver is something the Chiefs need to look into. We talked about that a bunch last year. You know, we kept thinking, okay, are they just going to roll with McCole Hardman as their wide receiver too? Byron Pringle, you know, certainly had a nice year, but he's not really a wide receiver too. I like how Hardman came on, but if you could get a guy like Metcalf to come in here, be your second outside receiver, then Hardman is your number 3, then you're living pretty. Like that's a dangerous offense for an offense that's already very dangerous. Just imagine, just put it into your brain. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf catching passes from Mahomes. I just don't see how teams are going to stop it, which is why if you're Kansas City, if there's even a glimmer of a chance, you should absolutely explore this. Here's a trade idea I cooked up. I'm not sure Seattle would do this, but I think this could be around the value for DK Metcalf. He comes to the Chiefs. Seattle gets their first-round pick this year, that being the Chiefs, number 30 overall. I threw a fourth-round pick in there as well. I think certain teams could get them for just a first in the top 20, but since the Chiefs pick at 30, I sweetened it a little bit. Fourth-round pick also in this trade. I would do this in a heartbeat. Would you? I'm going to ask you, the audience, Chiefs Kingdom out there. Let me know. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Would you do this trade for DK Metcalf? Go ahead and get your votes in right now. While you're at it, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, the Kansas City Chiefs Report. More Chiefs news, rumors, free agency videos to come as free agency starts next week. Things are heating up. Plus, I'm going to cook up a 7-round mock draft that's going to go out later this week. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. Link is right below, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. From a former Seahawk to a current Chief, that's Josh Gordon here. How about Josh Gordon? Back on another deal, a 1-year deal, which I actually like this quite a bit. I think Josh Gordon, last year, he did all the right things on the field. He didn't really produce on the field, but I said this at the end of last season when he got phased out completely and was even inactive in the playoffs and briefly cut. I said this. I would like to bring him back and see what he could do with a full offseason. Get some reps in the offseason with Patrick Mahomes. Get into the nutrition program, all that stuff in the offseason that you don't think about for guys who come in and year out. A guy like Gordon, he's never really gone through a full offseason for 7 years now? Now he gets to do that with Kansas City, and then maybe he shows us a little bit something next year. He tweeted this yesterday, said, KC, right where I want to be. Ain't gonna lie, I am hyped for 2022. Hashtag Chiefs Kingdom. I'm excited as well, and I will continue to say this. No expectations for Josh Gordon. Said it last year, I'm saying it again. But I do like the move. It's low risk, potentially decent reward, right? Now, you should not operate if you're Kansas City if things work out, he could be your number 2 receiver. No, you should not. But maybe he becomes a red zone threat. Maybe he's a guy that gives you 30, 35 snaps a game, and you give him some deep ball opportunities because in his prime, that's what he was able to do. I like the move. Worst case scenario, he actually is washed, and he doesn't make the team anyway. No big deal. He's probably on a minimum contract, so I don't think that's that big of a risk whatsoever. I think a full offseason should allow Gordon to get more, in sync with Mahomes, because we saw a couple of games last year. They tried to force a couple targets to him, and they just weren't on the same page. And you build that chemistry in the offseason, training camp. But, these mini camps that go on. You don't build that, in week 8, trying to, do this on the fly. And by the way, when they brought in Gordon, remember, the Chiefs were in a funk anyway. You can't be 3-4 and be like, hey, instead of fixing our current problem, let's try and make it work with Josh Gordon. That was never going to happen last year. But now you got a full off season. Maybe things could change for the upcoming year. Do you like bringing back Josh Gordon? Type L for like, type H for hate it. I don't see how you could hate it. Like I said, the risk is pretty much non-existent on this one, but let us know. Type L for like or H for hate. Now, something we all should love is the NCAA tournament, and if you want to go bet on March Madness, BetUS is the place to do so by going to the link below, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use our promo code on screen right there, Chiefs125. Put down $100, you get $125 for free. That's what that 125% deposit bonus will do for you. You look at the current odds to cut down the nets, and where's the Final Four this year? Help me out, guys. New Orleans, there you go. Appreciate Tyler Jones, our newest member here at Chat Sports, helping me out. Gonzaga, the favorite to do that. You got Arizona, Kentucky at plus 650, Duke at plus 1,000, and then Baylor, the defending champs. I actually like the value there of plus 1,100. If you want to bet on any of these teams or any other team, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. I know there's some Kansas fans out there. Go bet on the Jayhawks. Promo code Chiefs125. All right, final information, kind of tidbit here. Todd McShay released his latest NFL mock draft, and kind of got blown up because he has Washington drafting a quarterback, and they just traded for Carson Wentz. But I still thought it was relevant to bring to the Chiefs report because he has Kansas City selecting Daxton Hill, the kind of safety nickel hybrid out of Michigan, who's quickly rising up draft boards. He's a late first, early second type of prospect. Tested well in Indianapolis at the Combine. Like I said, he's got that versatility as he can play safety or nickel. Good season last year for the Wolverines as part of a defense that helped lead them to the college football playoff. Had 8 pass breakups, couple of picks in there as well. I like the versatility. I think Spags likes that as well. You think about L'Jarius Sneed, Rashad Fenton, Tyrann Mathieu, all guys that can line up and play in different spots. And then you add the name Charvarius Ward to this as well. You might lose 2 members of your starting secondary in Mathieu and Ward. So if you lose those 2 guys, even just one of them, you're going to have to replace them somehow, whether it's in the draft or in free agency. If those guys walk, drafting a guy like Daxton Hill makes sense because he can line up, play in a couple of different spots. I don't think he'll play outside corner for you, but he could play that free safety spot, maybe some strong and some nickel as well, which is what he did a lot at the University of Michigan. I like this selection. The Chiefs are going to have that flexibility because they have such a win-now roster in place to kind of pick and choose who they want at 30, but I think Hill would be a guy certainly worth taking. Grade the pick by McShay here of Daxton Hill, A, B, C, D, or F. I think it's like an A-. I like the selection. I think the value is good, and I think it fills a need because I'd be surprised if both Ward and Mathieu came back, and quite frankly, I think there's a good chance both will be gone. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's show, and we will see you next time here at the Chiefs Report.